The Model Show Spotlight is brought to you by the World of Armor. Communicate, share, and learn with armor modelers worldwide at the World of Armor. If armor modeling is your thing, follow the link in the show notes or at plasticmodelmojo.com and join the team.
Well, Kentucky Dave, I hope you're feeling better.
I am. I'm doing okay. How about you?
I can't complain.
I would appreciate it if it would stop raining.
It did stop raining in Lexington. It may rain this evening, but I don't think we're supposed to have much tomorrow. And there's a couple of days coming up that we might get some more. But yeah, we were in drought until Thursday, Friday, and
it's been
Saturday,
Noah-like ever since.
Sunday. It's just been raining and raining and raining. But
yep. Of course,
we've only gotten too much in a few areas of the state.
Yeah,
but,
well, of course, just when I get my pool open, then the rain comes.
Oh, sun will come out and be good and green again.
It will be. Yeah. Oh, believe me, I'm working on it every day to try and keep it from going that direction.
Well, it didn't look like it rained on the Rocky Mountain Model Expo. I've been seeing a lot of posts from that.
Yes.
Looks like Scott's team had a banger of a show, so glad to see that. And
I am too. I talked to Jim Bates in the last couple of days, and it apparently went off really, really well. So I'm thrilled for Scott and his team out there. I like the concept they've got going, and I'm more than pleased to see it succeeding and growing.
Well, hopefully that'll catch on, and maybe something out here on the east side of the country might take up the mantle. And heck, Dave, maybe it'll be a Smoky Mountain Model Expo.
There you go. But hey, we got a fairly large show coming up in our area of the country, don't we?
We do. In the Midwest in August, we have the IPMS National Convention coming up in August, like I just said there, and we had an opportunity to speak to a couple of team members there on the show committee, and just had a nice conversation. So, won't we let folks hear what's going on with the Nats planning and what they can expect for that show?
Let's do it.
Dave, summer's here, and it's getting close to that time of year again. We're gearing up for the IPMS National Convention. And,
yeah, my hands are starting to itch already. I can tell it's close to convention time.
And we got a couple of gentlemen here tonight from the planning team, the Fort Wayne group up there. Won't you guys introduce yourselves, and let's get this ball rolling about what kind of show you're going to put on.
My name is John Figueroa. I'm the chairman for the 2026 IPMS USA National Convention in Fort Wayne. We're going to be at the Grand Wayne Convention Center, which is right smack downtown Fort Wayne. And downtown Fort Wayne's maybe 6 blocks by 7 blocks. I mean, you can walk from kitty corner from one end to the other in about 20, 25 minutes, depending on how fast you walk. So it's very walkable. You know, being downtown is nice. There's parking garages there. You can come in, and if you got a hotel downtown, park your car. You may not even need to get in your car again for the whole time. There are a lot of places to go and things to do, but, you know, there's certainly more than you can do in 4 days downtown.
Well, we're looking forward to that part of it.
Well, John, you were the madman who put this thing together. This is kind of different from many of the past national conventions. I mean, you've got how many clubs directly with manpower participating and supporting this show?
Well, we've got 11 clubs, all in Region 4. Steve Bacon from the Roscoe Turner chapter in Indianapolis and I were talking one day about 4 years ago. And Steve, just off the cuff, mentioned to me, he said, I'd really like to do a nationals. And I told him, I've always wanted to do one. I'd like to do one too. And that started it. And so, you know, we took it to our club. We were trying to get under the wire to get the bid in for 2024. We were going to go up against Madison. And we got the bid together. But by the time we got it, you know, I spent like every waking hour I had for 3 weeks getting this bid together. And Then we took it to our club, the club meeting, and the bid's due in a week. So we put the club on the spot, and said, hey, we got to, have an answer tonight. And they're freaking out. They're saying, well, we don't know, what are you asking us to do? How much time is it? And then I didn't have any answers, so
Sure.
the club, turned us down. And, I'm not saying I wouldn't have done the same thing. They weren't going to sign up for something they didn't know about. So we backed up and we talked about it. We said, you know what, where did we go wrong? And one of the things that they really were concerned about is, how much effort is involved? How many hours, volunteer hours are we talking about? And I had no idea. I asked many, many people, including former chairs, and they all had guesses, but they were saying, well, I don't know really, but I would think maybe about, but nothing was even close, I don't think. So, long story short, we decided we wanted to expand because if you split the profits and one club gets, and I'm just going to pull a number out of out of the air, let's say $20,000. No club needs $20,000 in their treasury, at least in my opinion, right?
Right. It can
So
cause as many problems as it solves.
exactly. So and then the flip side of that is that these guys are working 16 hours a day for 4 days, right? Because they got one club doing it.
Right.
So we figured, well, you know what? We were shooting for 10 clubs. And it took me a year. I put a PowerPoint pitch together and we went out on the road. We went to 15 different club meetings and we had 11 club bite and join up. So then once we did that, we were, on our way, and we talked with John Bonani and then Scott Hackney as the second VPs and got the ball rolling. So with 11 clubs, everybody does a little bit of work and you get a little bit of money for your treasury, but nobody has to work the whole convention. They can go and enjoy the convention that's in their own backyard. So we thought that was a pretty good, paradigm to shoot for. And I'm not sure that anybody else that I know of has ever had that many clubs. I'm not saying there wasn't, but I don't know if anyone ever did.
I think the record is like maybe 3,
Yeah,
possibly 4.
4.
And
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
and I'll be honest with you, John, I'm not so sure this isn't kind of a wave of the future because the national convention has gotten so big and is labor, it's not labor, well, it's not as labor intense in the planning coming up to it, but it has become more labor intense for the 4 days of the actual show. And so I'm not so sure that that you came upon, having more than 2 or 3 clubs do it, isn't really the way to go in the future.
Steve and I were the same. We were saying it's probably going to be the new paradigm.
Yeah.
I don't have a crystal ball, but if I was going to do it again, which I'm not because I'm 70 years old, if I did it again, I'd be 75. So I'm not going to do it again. But it's not because I don't want to do it. I'm having a great time doing this because I've got, a lot of these chairs have the best guys from, a club or 3 or 4 clubs.
Right.
But I've got the best guys from 11 clubs working this. So, I was at Model Classic at Fairfax, Virginia, doing a road show for the convention. And we did a podcast with the model geeks. And, they would ask me questions. And I had to laugh and say, I don't know. I can't answer that question because that's one of my guys that's doing that. And these guys are like autonomous, These guys are guys that get up and they do something. They tell you they're going to do something. They do it. They get it done. You don't have to worry about it.
Right.
The best guys from 11 clubs working in the 14 different positions that we had as leadership positions. So it's been pretty good. Not that I haven't been busier in a flea at a cat convention, but I can't imagine if I didn't have that many guys that I could trust. I don't know how these other guys do it with 1 or 2 or 3 clubs. I'll tell you, I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to do it.
So when is the show?
It's 5 through 8 August.
Okay. And it starts on like a Wednesday at noon or 3 o'clock or something like that.
Well, we open registration at 10 and we open the convention at 1
Gotcha.
on Wednesday. Yes. And it, as far as I know, that's the paradigm is Wednesday through Saturday. I've never seen a convention that wasn't, in that
Right.
format.
Yeah, and Wednesday used to be kind of a travel, almost a throwaway day.
Yeah.
And
now
it's
now
morphed
it's become a
into
big
some
day.
kind of a don't miss if you can help it kind of extra day. So glad it's gotten filled up with at least good access, and now there's actually quite a bit to see on Wednesday. No matter where you are at the show. What else? You mentioned the road show. Let's talk about that a little bit, because I've seen like it the at a national convention in the past, the team who's got the bid for the coming year is often set up at the national convention year prior to the one they're hosting, and that's a pretty common thing because they're probably at the convention anyway for their own enjoyment. But what you guys have done, and I know because I keep seeing you or some of your minions out at every show I've been to in the last 12 months, including our show in Louisville. So you guys have gotten around. So I guess you got a bunch of retire. I mean, we saw two of your team at AMPS last month.
Yep.
And you just mentioned another show you were at on the road show. What kind of effort's that taken? What's it been like pulling that off?
Well, Steve and I talked about this quite. Yeah, and Steve Bacon is the vice chair for the convention. So he and I kind of started this, and when we talked about it, I was really impressed with in 2019. I was the president of Northern Virginia Modelers in Fairfax, and Mike Moore, who was a good friend of mine, and Lynn Petty from Chattanooga asked us if they could get a table at our show to do a road show. And I said, well, what are you going to do? And he explained it to me and what they were doing. And I thought, oh, that's a great idea. So we kind of borrowed that from them. But I think I talked to Mike since, and he told me, he says, man, you guys are sure doing a lot more than we ever did. Like I said, I'm retired. I've got the resources, to do it. So, Nora and I have, we drove down to Austin, Texas. We've driven down to Tampa. We've gone to Atlanta twice. We've gone to Ware, New Hampshire, and just all over. Rochester, Minnesota. We've gone to Virginia. We've several Northern Virginia modelers in Fairfax. The show in Richmond, the ODO, what is it? Old Dominion
Old
Open.
Dominion Open.
Yeah, great show, man. That is
Yes.
a great show. And so we've gone kind of all over the place doing this stuff. I wouldn't ever expect anybody to do that. But to me, this is my bucket list kind of thing. Like I said, as soon as Steve said, I want to do a Nationals, I said, yes, so do I. I've always wanted to do one. And it's, I'm going to check this off. So I'm putting everything I have into it. And, I understand that other people may not be able to do that. And that's fine. But some of my guys, we've done sometimes in one weekend, we've done 3 road shows, 3 model shows.
Yeah.
And so I think we've done about 25 model shows this year.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
That is.
That is amazing.
Well, let's pivot here and get Dave in.
Yep.
Introduce yourself, Dave.
Dave Mason, the treasurer for this weekend getaway. John snagged me at San Marcos at the Nationals there and kind of talked me into it, and I'm still here with all these different clubs. It's running fairly smooth.
All right.
Well, I'll tell you, the treasurer's job for a national convention has gotten a whole lot easier than it used to be, and I'm sure it's still tons of work for you. But with the national organization taking over more and more of the back end financial and administrative stuff, the treasurer job used to be just an absolute misery. So how's it been for you?
You're running interference between the guys that want to spend money and the national that pays for it. So I have to,
Sure.
That would be me, the guy that wants to spend money.
yeah,
That sounds about right.
is it really necessary, or can't we do that?
So you're a
for,
filter.
I can print. Yeah, it's is it necessary, or is it just something we want? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's been going. I've enjoyed it. I know with
Good.
the electronics and stuff, it's going to be as the future goes on, it's going to be less and less of strenuous job and more of during the show itself job.
Two things that, other than the contest, that are kind of the primary draw for folks at the conventions is certainly the vendor landscape and then the seminar docket. So what's going to be going on there? What's it looking like? We sold out yet?
Well, the vendor tables, I think we got like 426 vendor tables, and we've got like 12 left.
All right.
And
That's
I
pretty
think,
close to
Dave, you want
sold
to
out.
talk about the seminars?
Yeah, we got a full schedule for seminars, from the basics of scale model photography, so you can get the lighting and how to photograph your models so they're presentable to submit to magazines, online, whatever. There's a Gundam, the basics of Gundam, CAD. We've got CAD, and there's Silhouette, Cricut, a seminar on how to do your own paint masks. There's quite a few. We got a special one for the Star Trek 60th anniversary. The special interest groups, there's a seminar on those for the people that don't know what they are, and how to set them up and keep them going. And we've got some workshops. All the paid workshops are already sold out. The Grex, and there's a couple others. We've got weathering for creating dioramas and vignettes. There's a seminar on the Omaha Beach to do a diorama of that. Anything in between, from the basics to the advanced, we've got a seminar covering it.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. As you may know, if you listen to the podcast, I am a huge advocate for the seminars at the nationals and even at regional and local shows as well. I just think that they are some of the best things at the convention, and so many people don't know about them. So I'm glad that you all have devoted some time and energy to getting not only a lot of seminars, but a lot of wide ranging seminars as far as subjects, as far as skill level, interest level, etc., so that there's bound to be a seminar of interest to somebody.
Yeah, we've got the full list up on the website.
Yeah, if you can't find a seminar that suits your interests, turn the page. There's
or schedule your own. Yeah.
Yeah, the only issue that I see is there's a couple that I'd like to attend to, but they're the same time and the same day. I got to make a choice of which room I'm going to.
Yep, that always happens, Dave. That just always happens.
When we're doing these local and regional shows, we always try to ask if there's anything special or unique. Now, we know a lot of what's encompassed with the IPMS Nationals, and a lot of folks don't expand on that too much. Is the Fort Wayne show got anything new that we can anticipate enjoying?
When we had our first meetings, we have planning meetings twice a month, and then we have a leadership meeting once a month. We wanted to push the envelope, but we wanted it to be still recognizable as an IPMS convention.
Mhm.
But we wanted to try and do some new things. One of the things that I think is going to go over very big is the raffle. Steve and I are kind of like brothers from another mother. You know what I mean? We're real good friends. We hang out. We talk a lot. We use each other's sounding boards. And he told me once, real early in this process, and I talk about this a lot, so people have probably heard this before, but for those who haven't, he compared the IPMS Nationals to a 3-ring circus. He says, a 3-ring circus has got 3 rings, and the IPMS Nationals has got the contest, the vendors, and the raffle. He said, those are the three rings. He says, everything else is a sideshow. It's important, but it's, you have to have the three rings. And so in that vein, we approached your club to the military modelers of Louisville to run our raffle for us because you guys run an outstanding raffle. We have pumped a lot of money into the raffle to get a lot of really good kits in there. In fact, Scale Reproductions is doing a lot for us. They're basically sponsoring our raffle. They're getting us kits at cost so that we can get good kits and a lot of them. And Alex Restrepo, who was our raffle coordinator, came in because we gave him a budget, and he came in and said, "Hey, we're going to come in under budget." I said, "No, I don't want you to come in under budget." I said,
"Spend it all."
Yeah, because he
I
said,
had
"Well,
to
we're going to
argue
have
on
about
that one.
$500, $600 left." Yeah. Well, but it was it's already in the budget, and I told him, I said, "Look, if you don't have anything else to buy," I said, "I want you to buy $600 worth of, or whatever you got left, of Gundam kits, because I want those in the raffle, because I want our Gundam friends to go and tell their friends, you should have seen all the Gundams they had at the raffle." We're trying real hard to reach out to, I'm choosing my words carefully because I'm not trying to throw shade on anyone or anything. We're just, trying to do the best we can. But there are some traditionally under, I don't know how to say, appreciated or something, genres,
Sure.
I got tired of hearing people say, "Oh no, I don't go to IPMS," the International Plane Modeler Society. And it just drives me up the wall because we're a modeling group, not an aircraft group. I'm an aircraft modeler. I'm an armor modeler. I do a lot of stuff, but my real love is aircraft. But we're already tied in with all the aircraft guys and all the tank guys, the armor guys. But the auto guys, the ship guys, the Gundam guys, all the sci-fi, we need to embrace them and bring them in. And that's what we're really trying to do. And in that vein, every convention has like 5 themed awards. And if you look at our theme awards, we got Happy Birthday America, which is a figure award. We've got the 60th anniversary of Star Wars, which is sci-fi.
Star
We've
Trek.
got, I'm sorry, yeah, Star Trek. Did I say Star Wars?
Yes,
It shows what I know about it.
that's
60th
next year.
anniversary of Star Trek. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
We've got the 110th anniversary of the Battle of Jump for the ship guys. We've got International Harvester, Trucktown USA, because International Harvester and GE were like the heart of Fort Wayne for, half a century. They built this town, and they're both gone now, but we still, International Harvester is one of our theme awards. And so there's no theme award for military at all, any military subjects, or there's no armor or no aircraft in those 5. Now, we do have some that are sponsored by individuals, like Nora, my wife Nora, and I sponsored a theme award for the best auxiliary, amphib, or aircraft carrier. So it's a Navy one. John Fluck, our vendor coordinator, he is sponsoring. He's a Marine Corps vet, and he's sponsoring best USMC subject. Round 2 is sponsoring the best round 2 subject. This guy, Adam David Stevenson in Texas, called me, and he wanted to do All-American Red, White, and Blue because he won that theme award in Madison. And he wanted to, he told me, he says, I want to pay back, to IPMS. And so I want to do the same award. And, he's going to buy, he's going to buy the plaque or whatever the award he's going to have for it and present it. So we've got a lot of stuff that, if you look at our logo too, it was intentional that there's nothing military on that logo. And again, I spent 20 years in the Navy. I spent 25 years supporting the Navy as a federal civil servant. So 45 years of my life I've spent with the Navy. So, it's not that I don't like the military, but it's just that there are underserved genres that we're trying to reach out to. And so it was a very calculated, very deliberate decision. You got anything on that, Dave?
Well, it's like the international that covers, could be military, as they were a big supporter in World War II. They made a whole lot more than I ever thought they did. Between the trucks, the tractors, scouts, the civilian and military versions of the Travel All and Scouts, there's plenty of models. The resin aftermarket, there's plenty oddball models. It's just some of the genres that never get a whole lot of attention anywhere, but there's a lot of interest in it. So we'll give it a chance this time to highlight them.
John,
Yes.
the last thing you want to do when you go to a national convention is stand in line forever for registration. So, can people register online?
Absolutely. In fact, it's been open since March 1st. If you go up to the IPMS USA, it's got a link right there, or you can go to my IPMS USA, and there's a link there also. You can go up to our website, there's a link. So it's easy to get up there, and it's $55, and it's been $55 for years and years and years. We haven't raised it. Pre-registration closes on June 30th. So we got a month and a half left on pre-registration. But if you don't pre-register and you register at the convention, it's going to cost you $65 at the convention to register.
And it's going to cost you time.
And time, right? Because you're going to be standing in line, like you said, standing in line in the hallway there, by the booth with whoever else is in front of you, to register when you could do it online.
Meanwhile, all the smart people who pre-register are going to be in the vendor room buying up all the deals that you wanted to get, but you didn't because you failed to pre-register.
Well, it's a little harsh, but
He's all about incentive.
I'm all about incentive. Get people to pre-register.
Yeah, I agree with you. And one of the other innovations that we talked about, and I'm going to let Dave talk about this because this is his baby, but we're going to have a decal, sheet on. It's going to be some World War II aces, Indiana aces that we put together, but we also have another decal sheet that Dave was adamant that he wanted to get put together, and he's done a fantastic job. He sent me the artwork last week, and I think it's amazing. But Dave, you want to go ahead and talk about that decal sheet?
Well, we kind of catered towards the commercial automotive side on the secondary sheet. We've got placards, we've got international door decals or mud flap decals. We've got aftermarket gauges for the hot rods, the police, fire, the municipality for Fort Wayne. We've got decals for those for future builds. It's just something that the automotive, other than a police car decal or a Corvette decal here and there throughout the past nationals, there hasn't been a whole lot of automotive.
I would say that's true.
We're going to make up for that on this secondary.
I think that's a great idea.
We had it in the budget. Like John says, the clubs don't need all the money, so let's provide something that's unique and nobody else has done.
Well, that sounds great.
What's left to talk about, guys? We're going to be coming up there in August, and it sounds like the vendor room's going to be hopping, the raffle's going to be busting at the seams, and the seminar docket is pretty stinking full. I guess I'd like to hear one more bit of good news about the walkability of the city and what folks can expect for a little nightlife and dining and something like that. Is that going to be easy for us?
Oh, yeah. If you go up on our Facebook page, I've posted many, many posts on places to eat. There's like 60 places to eat downtown. We're not going to do a banquet. The hard truth is that we really didn't have room. We barely had enough room to really do the convention justice. I mean, we've got enough to do that. But I didn't want to throw vendors out of a room, on Saturday morning so that we could set up for the banquet.
Well, you were lucky to have a convention space that didn't require it.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Because a lot of times guys have to do a convention because they got $30,000 in food and beverage they got to cover.
Right.
Where we didn't have that. So yes, we were very, very fortunate for that in that case. The other thing that I would like to mention is the Embassy Theater. We are going to do our awards ceremony in the Embassy Theater. It's right across the street. You don't even have to go outside. You can go from the convention center, you get on the escalator, you go up the escalator past the Tiger Meat Room, go across the skywalk, down the stairs, and you're in the theater. So the Embassy Theater opened in 1928. It is an amazing piece of architecture, and it's been, restored to its, all its grandeur. And it's going to be, in my estimation, 5 years from now, when people talk about the Fort Wayne Convention, that's what I think that's what they're going to say. They go, "Oh yeah, that theater. Remember that theater that they had the awards theater?" There's 2,500 seats in the theater, so nobody has to, sit in another room and watch it on a screen or something. There's more than enough room for everybody, just probably on the main floor. But we got the balcony also, so it's gonna it's gonna be pretty cool. I think that's gonna be the crown jewel, or of the convention for us.
Well, I can't wait to see it. I've seen pictures of the theater, and it is amazingly impressive. I mean, it's been restored beautifully. I can't wait for all of the convention goers to see that theater and to sit through the award ceremony in the theater.
Yeah, it's an amazing place.
Back in.
Well, John and Dave, thanks a lot for agreeing to come on and giving us the opportunity to feature the national convention. Been a couple conventions, Kentucky, Dave, since we've had a big feature. I don't think we did it last year. Somebody else had kind of done it, and we just let it go with that. But we are really looking forward to this one because our own club's involved. We're really excited about this multi-club involvement across the board. You guys have been doing this road show even to a bigger degree that I realized you were doing it. I natural assumption would be that you were doing maybe at most one show a week because you just had 2 or 3 people going, but it sounds like you guys have been splitting up the shows and had a lot of people going to a lot of places. So you guys have certainly put in the legwork to get the word out in person. I think it's a great location in the country to have a show of this size because it's a commutable distance for a whole lot of people. That's not too far away. Dave and I have driven a long way to these things. I'm sure you guys have too. Finally, we got one out the back door, Dave.
Yep. Yep. Guys, as you know, there is no bigger supporter of the IPMS USA convention than yours truly. So I am really, really looking forward to this one.
Well, thanks for having us on, guys, because this is going to reach a lot of people. So it's serving as kind of a road show, and I didn't have to drive 12 hours. So I appreciate that.
We're happy to lift the burden, John.
Yep.
Yep.
Thank you too, Dave. I'd say you got any parting words?
Well, I just pay attention to our raffle. We're going to have some unusual, unique opportunities there. And it's also going to be online to where you don't have to go stand and block the hallway to check your numbers. You can check it on your phone or on a laptop in your room.
That's great.
All right. Well, we'll let you guys get back to your show planning and promotion, and glad to have you. And we'll see you in Fort Wayne in a few months.
Thanks a lot, guys.
You're welcome.
Thanks, guys.
Well, they're certainly doing the legwork to have a terrific show.
I'm telling you what, I am really thrilled. I think the show's going to be off the hook. John and he's built a team around him, and they are really working their butts off, I can tell you. And I'm anxious to see this. I'm anxious to see the changes and developments. I think there's some great ideas that are going to come out of this show. So if you haven't made plans to be there the first week of August, guys, make your plans now. Registration closes in 30 days.
That's right. So I should probably register.
You and me both.
Well, let's take care of that soon.
You got it.
Well, this is the model show spotlight. We typically would have billed it as the June model show spotlight. But we had an opportunity to talk to the Nats team there, as you just heard. I did get a June show come in just under the wire, Dave. Today, in fact, here on Memorial Day, we got this from the, who's this from? It's from the Polk Area Model Society down in, it's kind of in the Central Florida area, I guess.
Yep, they are. It's a great group of modelers. I know a number of them, and a really good group of modelers.
Well, they're going to be celebrating the 250 years of the brave, the bold, and the beautiful United States of America at their PAMS Con, which is coming up June 27th at the Tico Expo Hall in Plant City, Florida. And looks like a pretty standard IPMS affair. He sent me the flyers here, and I will get some links in the show notes to this show. So if you're in Florida in in June, you can take in a show there. There's a lot of shows down there typically. So
yes,
I don't think we've featured this one before.
No, and who wouldn't want to be in Florida in June? I mean, prime vacation time, man.
Again, that's going to be the PAMS Con in Plant City, Florida on June 27th, 2026. Well, Dave, that's all I got for the Model Show Spotlight, and I'm really looking forward to the National Convention, seeing all our friends again, and it's going to be a good time, man.
Yep, we're going to have a great time. Can't wait.
All right, man. Well, we need to get some modeling done, dude.
Yes, we do.
All right, well, let's go.
You got it. Take care.